Hello and welcome. Class 9 students, if you all remember that in my previous class, I have completed Newton's first law of motion with the concept of inertia and definition of force. In that lecture, I have explained the inertia of rest, inertia of motion and inertia of direction, and some examples related to the inertia of rest, inertia of motion and inertia of direction was also discussed. And finally, the definition of force was also given, and it was defined as force is an external cause which brings or tries to bring the change in the inertial state of a body. I think all of you remember. So that, and every force acts in terms of push or pull. So that was the final conclusion of last day's class, with that mass is the measurement of inertia. And some assignments were also given to you to solve the questions related to first law of motion. Today in this lecture, our aim is to go for second law of motion. So first we should learn the importance of second law of motion given by Newton. First law of motion actually gives the concept of force, the definition of force. But so far as second law is concerned, second law gives the magnitude of the force, the formula of force. So that is why the mathematical expression for force can be obtained by using second law of motion. So before we start second law of motion, we should know a term known as momentum. So momentum is a physical quantity given by the product of mass and velocity. So we can define momentum, the product of mass and velocity is known as momentum, denoted by P. The formula is m into v. Its unit is kg meter per second. Momentum is a vector quantity. So we can find out momentum by using this simple formula, mass into velocity. So we may have greater mass moving with less value of velocity, but momentum is more. Similarly, a small mass moving with greater velocity may have a greater momentum. So momentum depends on mass as well as velocity. So in this way, we can calculate the momentum by the product of mass and velocity. We have many problems based on this particular formula also. Now by giving the concept of momentum, the Newton has given the statement of second law of motion. So now we have to write second law of motion. The statement is the rate of change of momentum is directly proportional to the applied force and the change occurs in the direction of applied force. So this is the statement, and that we have to remember that the rate of change of momentum is directly proportional to the applied force and the change occurs in the direction of applied force. So this is the second law of motion statement. Now we have to apply this to get the formula of force. So suppose we have a mass m, and it was moving with velocity u. A force acts on it, F. Then after time t, its velocity becomes v. So a force F is applied on a body of mass m for a time t, then the velocity u changes to v. So what we can say, u is initial velocity, v is final velocity, t is time, m is mass. Now tell me, if m is mass and u is initial velocity, then what is initial momentum? Initial momentum is mass into initial velocity, because the product of mass and velocity is momentum. So mass multiplied by initial velocity gives initial momentum. And similarly, final momentum, is mv, and this momentum changes in time t. So the momentum was mu, and after time t the momentum is mv. So what is change in momentum? Change in momentum is mv minus mv. And what is the rate of change in momentum? It is mv minus mu upon t. And rate of change of momentum is found to be proportional to the force. So if F is force applied, then F is found to be proportional to mv minus mu upon t, or F is equal to a constant k, take m common, v minus u by t. And what is this v minus u by t? V minus u by t is acceleration. So we can write F is equal to kma, where k is constant. Experimentally it is found that if mass of 1 kg was taken and a force F of 1 Newton is applied, then acceleration produced was found to be 1 meter per second. Then if you put in the formula, then 1 is equal to k into 1 into 1, that gives k is equal to 1. So finally the formula is F is equal to m into a. So force is equal to mass into acceleration is the most important formula for physics. So throughout your life, whenever we want to know the magnitude of force, we have to apply this formula. So force is equal to mass into acceleration is the expression for force. So force depends on mass, force depends on acceleration. So we can conclude by this, if A is constant, then F is proportional to M. Second, if M is constant, then F is proportional to A. And if F is constant, then A is inversely proportional to mass. So for constant acceleration, force is directly proportional to mass. So if we have many masses, as the value of mass increases, the magnitude of applied force increases if we want to produce same acceleration in different bodies. Similarly, if we take a constant mass but we want to produce acceleration, different acceleration in different bodies, then if we want to produce greater acceleration, greater force is to be needed, and so on. And if F is constant, then acceleration produced is inversely proportional to mass. So greater the mass, smallest is the acceleration, smaller the mass, greater is the acceleration. So this is your second law of motion, and the formula of force is equal to mass into acceleration. So this is very important for your exam purpose also, and this formula and this formula, these two formula, and meantime sometimes this also. So we can write A as V minus U by T. So we have many problems to solve and get the concept of this concept of force, right? So that's all for this lecture. Try to practice this expression many times and solve problems based on P is equal to mv as well as F is equal to mass into acceleration from your textbook. NCERT textbooks have many questions based on this. That's all for today's lecture. Have a nice day. Thank you very much.